So, aloha and welcome everybody to the Pisces New Moon Distant Reiki Share. I am so grateful to be together in sacred circle on this very spiritual new moon. To those of you joining the Distant Reiki Share live, and then those who are listening to the recordings, thank you so much for being a part of this circle. And so, before we get into the astrology, just some announcements I would like to share with you about what's coming up because we have lots of astrology happening in March. It's a really big month this March. So, coming up very soon, March 1st, I'm teaching a class on Venus, the Venus retrograde, and also natal Venus from an esoteric astrology perspective, from an intuitive perspective, and really going deeply into healing our Venus issues and revealing the higher frequency of each of our Venuses. So the class is called Embody Your Venus and Receive Miracles, Venus Retrograde, and it's an intuitive galactic astrology and Reiki Journey class. Then on March 28th, so that's our next new moon, and it's actually a partial solar eclipse. So the Distant Reiki Share will be on that day, March 28th. And a couple days later, we have a major transit initiating. Planet Neptune is changing signs and entering the zodiac sign of Aries. So Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011 and does not change signs that often. So this is a big energy shift, and I've been guided to teach a class on this transit to meet and activate the gifts of spirit. This will be a combined intuitive galactic astrology and Reiki Journey class. And so, for more information about all of these and how to sign up and register, all of that is on my website, taylornorrisreiki.com. And also in the links below this video, you will see all of those there for those of you who are watching this as a recording. So, right now, at the time of this meeting at this Reiki share, the moon is actually balsamic, so it's not completely new yet. That will be happening in a few hours. So, we're in this really juicy balsamic moon, very dark moon period at this time. So, really opening up into our third eye, our seeing, our prophecy, and communing with the energies that are coming. So, as I said, there's a lot to talk about in March and kind of like what this artwork on the right hand side of the slide is showing the spiral and the infinity. And we're navigating the very final sign of the zodiac wheel, Pisces, with this new beginning energy of Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. So we're in a big shift. And Venus and Mercury are going to be moving retrograde. We have a partial lunar eclipse mid-month. The end of the month, we have a total lunar eclipse mid-month, and then we have the partial solar eclipse at the end of the month. We have Neptune changing sign. So it really is quite a lot going on here. So March 1st, one of our first big transits of the month is that Venus is stationing retrograde. She's stationing retrograde at 10 degrees and 50 minutes of Aries zodiac sign. And she's making powerful alignments with two particular stars when she stations Aldebaran's star and Cepheus. Cepheus is the king, so bringing in that divine, masculine, royal, regal, kingly leadership energy. Venus, our planet of relationships, of creativity, of divine feminine. And she's also making a powerful alignment with a star in Pegasus called Algenib. Algenib. I'm not sure how to say that one. Algenib is how I'm going to go with it right now. And that's one of the four stars in Pegasus that make the great square of Pegasus. And with Pegasus, we get mental creativity, we get the sacred knowledge, we get ancient wisdom, and really the ways and the traditions and the modes of connecting deeply with the earth and deeply with the cosmos, and also these frequencies of divine leadership. But Venus retrograde, we'll take a look at a little bit deeper in the next slide. March 1st, we also have Mercury conjoining the north node of the moon, so receiving insights and downloads about our future soul purpose and collective soul growth and directive at this time. We could have new insights, clarity, connecting the dots, and even more of that enhanced mental creativity coming through as Mercury is in alignment with Skiat star and Pegasus. Pegasus, again, very much connected to ancient wisdom and knowledge, and even like the complete data set of human evolution as pertains this solar system and also the Milky Way galaxy. It's one of the most psychic stars, I believe, that we can work with at this time. March 2nd, Mercury is conjoining Neptune again, amplifying that psychic sensitivity. And really, with all of this, being really mindful of where your mind is at and really mindful of focusing on what you want to create and what you want to manifest and what brings you joy and your connection to spirit, your connection to the earth, your connection to your own inner truth, your own inner authority. But this really feels like a time of lots of mental awakening and connecting the dots. That is followed by Mercury changing sign from Pisces, moving into Aries. And then on March 11th, Mercury conjoining Venus. So Mercury will be still moving forward at this time, and Venus will have already started moving retrograde, moving backwards from our perspective on Earth here. So there's a opportunity here for our divine feminine Venus to be whispering some messages and guidance to Mercury, maybe about a change or an upgrade in our sense of value, our sense of self-esteem, what's going to bring us more fulfillment, more relationship harmony, and a deeper sense of connection to joy and bliss and grace and ease and love and flow. And on March 12th, we have the Sun conjoining Saturn at 22 degrees of Pisces and 5 minutes. And this is occurring in a conjunct alignment with Markov's star in Pegasus. And this is a star of stability. And this feels so helpful, really, with Saturn, a very stabilizing planet in alignment with a very stabilizing star, the Sun amplifying that energy of stability. And this could be quite grounding and quite focusing, because part of the Pisces energy, Pisces, which is a mutable zodiac sign, is it can be scattering. It can be going in a lot of different directions here. And it can be a lot of this too, like the Aries energy coming through Mercury and Venus. This can feel like very jazzed up. And so to connect in with this Markov frequency of stability, even when everything seems to be changing and moving and flowing all around us, I feel we can have that real sense of anchoring in our inner authority and a sense of anchoring and security coming through our own authentic spiritual connection at this time. So very, very helpful and stabilizing here. March 13th, we have the total lunar eclipse in Virgo. I will make a separate video on that one. It is occurring at 23 degrees and 56 minutes of Virgo zodiac sign, aligning to two very beautiful stars, the nebula in Leo constellation, Alps and Crater constellation. And this is feeling like a big release. Lunar eclipses are like big full moons. This one's total, so it's very, very powerful. It's also a south node of the moon eclipse, meaning it's like a deep release coming through our past patterns that are ready to be released, past patterns that are ready to be let go so that we can be fully free and sovereign and liberated and really inspired moving forward, especially towards the end of the month where we get this really big dose and influx of the Aries energy coming through the solar eclipse, which is an energy of new beginnings, and coming through Neptune's ingress into Aries zodiac sign. So there's a moment here mid-month that is very suggestive of pause, of relaxation, restoration, and releasing what no longer serves our highest good and engaging in healing, whatever form of healing we feel guided to do so, connecting to the earth, listening to the earth, and really taking that sacred pause that is being very much highlighted to by Mercury, the guiding planet of Virgo zodiac sign, stationing retrograde on the day after this total lunar eclipse. So it's really like pause, slow down, listen. This can be like a big mental detoxification and cleansing that's happening as Mercury rules and guides our mental bodies and also our communications here. And so this would be a wonderful time to tune in and do automatic writing, perhaps do some channeling, and even be open to the possibility that after whatever is released on the 13th, like we could feel more of that mental spaciousness coming through with this Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde really going to help us integrate a lot of these big energetic shifts that we are navigating in March and also in April as well. Venus retrograde also supporting that. I see the higher frequency manifestations of retrograde cycles as integration. They are helping us integrate bigger cycles of shifts and also helping us integrate and heal and transmute and transform and alchemize our, in the case of, whatever the planet that's going retrograde. So for Venus, our relationships, our self-worth, our money, our abundance, our connection to that which fulfills us in this lifetime, creative inspiration as well, seeing and knowing and being the beauty of life. With Mercury retrograde is very much having to do with the mind, with communication, with our day-to-day activities, and also thinking about our interdimensional, like what frequency band are we connecting with? What are we in the upper world? Are we in the lower world? Like, where is our mind? Are we in the higher heavens of consciousness? What are we focusing on? And how can we welcome in new thought forms and innovations and insight and intuition and more of connecting the dots during this Mercury retrograde? How are we talking about ourselves? What is the frequency of our internal dialogue and the stories we tell ourselves? Are we ready to maybe let go of some of those stories and welcome in new stories? And even, Mercury retrograde is making me think of like languages and light language and astrology and all of these different ways of communing and understanding and divining too with the subtler energies and frequencies of the earth and the cosmos. So, as I said, Venus retrograde is occurring on March 1st. She is stationing retrograde at 10 degrees and 50 minutes of Aries zodiac sign. And she will be appearing to move backwards for 42 days before she stations direct on April 12th at 24 degrees and 37 minutes of Pisces. So she's really helping us navigate and integrate this big transition we're in, not just this spring, but over the course of this whole year and really like into next year as well, as Saturn and Neptune enter Aries. And we're getting this big shift from Pisces into Aries, from spiritual and nebulous and all the different directions of Pisces into this, and completions also with Pisces, into what are the new beginnings? What are the new projects? What's the new leadership? What's the new direction? Really pioneering spirit of Aries. So, in this retrograde, too, what's happening is that Venus, so we have had her as an evening star, and I hope those of you who are listening have been able to see Venus in your night sky because she has just been so bright and so beautiful. And we are closest to Venus at this time. So she's just bright and magnificent and huge and just in her full glory. And over the course of this retrograde, she is going to emerge as the morning star. So she's shifting from that evening star to being our morning star. And this is a big energy shift for us from Venus of the evening to Venus of the morning. And she's also making her conjunction with the sun at 2 degrees Aries on March 22nd. So lots more to get into with this. That's why I'm teaching a whole class on it. So I'm just going over maybe some of the very high level highlights of this transit, but it's so deep and it's so powerful and it's such a wonderful time for us to really upgrade and elevate all that Venus represents, each of our authentic relationship to the divine feminine within ourselves. Venus is the planet of receiving, and she's also the planet of attraction. So she is very, very important and brings in so much joy and fulfillment and grace into this earthly human life. When she stations retrograde, she is in a close conjunct alignment with Salacia. And Salacia is this beautiful mermaid here. She is a dwarf planet. This image comes from moreplutos.com. She's a dwarf planet out beyond the orbit of Pluto. So Pluto has about a 248-year orbit. Salacia has a 271-year orbit. And she's currently around the 9 to 10 degree Aries zodiac range. So Venus, already this divine feminine, beautiful energy in alignment with this divine feminine mermaid frequency dwarf planet. This feels like such a powerful, just high frequency dose of mermaid energy, of this sacred water energy, of liquid light, of light language, of communing with our watery depths of our being. I also see Salacia as connected to ancient Lemuria and these times on the earth in our ancient past and in our future as well, of being really in deep communion with the earth, in deep embodied awareness of our sovereignty as divine feminine beings in harmony with each other, in harmony with the water, with the ocean, with the moon, with the tides, with the sunshine, with all of it. So this just feels extra magical that Venus is making this alignment. And we have this chance to connect with our own inner mermaid and just like be exalted in that expression. So really, really gorgeous energy and gorgeous dwarf planet to connect with. Salacia too is a mermaid that she's very free. She's very sovereign. Neptune, Lord of the Sea, actually invited her to be his wife and she was like, "No." Like, "I'm good," and swam away and was elusive for Neptune, who was looking for her for a very long time until one of the dolphins he sent actually was able to find her and locate her and talk her into basically giving Neptune a chance. But she really is this freedom loving energy, the freedom loving expression of this divine feminine that is very comfortable and fulfilled in her own essence, in her own being. And if she's going to be around others, it's not because she needs something, it's because she's going to enjoy that relationship. Awesome sovereignty with Salacia and Venus. Mercury is also stationing retrograde this month. So this is happening March 14th at 9 degrees and 35 minutes of Aries zodiac sign. So right again around that 9 to 10 degrees Aries. So you want to find in your natal chart where is 9 to 10 degrees of Aries, because that is a part of your chart that's really receiving a, a strong emphasis with both Mercury and Venus stationing retrograde so close to that degree point. And also, this is where that Salacia mermaid frequency is shining into your life. So, Mercury is retrograde from March 14th until April 7th, backing all the way to 26 degrees and 49 minutes. And this is, of course, Mercury retrograde gets such a bad reputation. This, oh, the communication doesn't work and, nothing goes as it should. And while that can happen, that can be the reality, I would just please, invite the higher frequencies of this transit as well and invite it to be your easiest, smoothest, most joyful, most mentally awakening, connecting the dots, beautiful, luminous, insightful Mercury retrograde yet, because it can be. It can be like totally fine. Like travel plans are fine, technology's fine. So we can let go of those storylines of it having to be difficult. The last Mercury retrograde, I think I was flying and doing all sorts of travel and, technology type things. And it was just like smooth sailing, super easy. So, really inviting in that possibility and allowing this time. Really, it's like go inward for your insights. And this can be such a beautiful and fruitful time of mental reprogramming. And so, what I wanted to show you here is that Mercury is following Venus back into Pisces. So, Venus retrograde from Aries into Pisces, Mercury's doing the same thing. But Venus, in her retrograde period, it's 42 days. So, she's going even deeper back into Pisces. Mercury is not going quite as deeply back into Pisces. And I'm going to show you this with an animated chart so you can see what I mean, because it's a lot easier to just see it than imagine it. And this is right now, today, where everything is. You see, we have so much Pisces. Moon, this is Gong Gong that I talked about in my latest video. The Sun, Saturn, Mercury, North Node, and Neptune, all in Pisces. This is the glyph for Salacia. How cute is that? The seashell. I just love that for the mermaid dwarf planet. This is Venus here in Aries, and this is Chiron. And so I'm gonna move the chart forward by I'm gonna move it forward by a week just so we can get to a little bit ahead here. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. That went too far. Okay, just a week from now, then we'll go to when Mercury stations retrograde. So this is the 14th. We have the solar eclipse, and then you can see Mercury here changed from black. The 9 and the 34 Aries changes from black to red, and the red is indicating that Mercury is moving retrograde. So Mercury right now at the time, March 15th, is behind Venus. Okay. And then as we move forward in days, you can see Mercury, this glyph here, is following Venus closer and closer back into Pisces eventually. So Venus here, March 27th, she's back in Pisces. She is conjoining Neptune as she re-enters Pisces. Mercury here right on the verge, almost entering Pisces. And then let's see, what was that? March 30th, Mercury is back into Pisces. Keeps following Venus deeper and deeper. Venus conjoins the north node of the moon here. Mercury on its way to conjoining the north node of the moon. So, like, literally, Venus is like leading the way back into Pisces. Mercury is following and really helping us navigate this transition. And we see by April 7th, Mercury is back in direct motion. The degrees are shown in black. So Mercury makes it almost all the way back to another conjunction with Saturn, but that's actually not exact. Venus has actually gone on and already conjoined Saturn, so she does go deeper. And then as we progress from there, Mercury will make its way back out of Pisces as we go into April and beyond there. So really, really interesting here. It's like our divine feminine is leading the way into this transition with our minds kind of like scurrying behind, our communication scurrying behind, like trying to keep up, trying to integrate, trying to make sense of things that Venus is just like being and receiving. And so it really is just this powerful time to be with our spirit, to be listening, and to be open to that more non-linear, cyclical, intuitive, right brain, creative kind of way of having those insights drop in for us. But knowing that really, Mercury and Venus are helping us make this big shift that our outer planets are signifying at this time. The outer planet transitions really signifying very big collective energetic shifts for us into a big new beginning. So that's where I'm going to end it for the astrology right now. I know that was a lot. Hopefully, that sparked some insights that can come through even clearer in your unique way, just how you need them to in the Reiki journey. So I'm going to go ahead and change our recording.